Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. Depends on the location and the time that you're watching these videos. My name is Behshad Sabah. This is the episode number 6 or video 6 of my job hunt workshop presentation for you. In the last 5 videos, we went through a lot of different topics. We talked about the background, the 10 hobbies that we use in networking. We talked about Canada economy, GDP, newspaper reading. We talked about Scott's Business Directory, Emergent Intellect, Toronto Public Library, North American Industry Coding System. We talked about LinkedIn, how we can unlock the names and PEO websites. We talk about cold calls, barriers, gatekeepers, 12 before 12 rule, and the book that you should read. We talk about how we can overcome the fear of rejection. We talked about the libraries that we can get a lot of books from them and use them and understand them and learn them. We talk about the cold calls, how we should know our audience and what kind of questions we should ask, what kind of questions we shouldn't ask. We talk about how we should present ourselves to the other side of the phone. And we continue with resume tips, resume formats, resume content, how we can make our resume better. There are a lot of resume books that you can find and educate yourself on that. So after that, we talked about networking, with whom, where, and how, the questions that we can ask, how we can find the networking places. So we did all of that. We talked about Canadian Directory of Recruiters and the updated version and finding the right recruiters for yourself. We talked about the table that we should fill with different activities for different days and hours, and we should stick to this plan. If we need to change it, but always have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you cannot modify it. So that's very important that you have a plan in place. We talk about mission statement and value, and then we talk about your interview day. Now, going forward, we want to talk about some important interview questions and the answers that you want to provide to the interviewee panel. First of all, there are a lot of books available with the interview question. And you can borrow them from the online library that I introduced to you. You can get it from your local library. And interview questions normally go into 2 different sectors. One of them is behavioral questions. There are about 90 questions in that criteria. And the other part is technical interview. We are not going to talk about the technical interview because I don't know the audience. You could be a mechanical engineer, you could be an accountant, a lab technician, a teacher, or whatsoever. So I'm not going to touch the technical part of the interview. I will talk about general questions. And these questions that you see here are the most common one. But as I said, there are about 90 questions. You can borrow one of these books like Toughest Interview Questions or Answering Tough Interview Questions for Dummies. There are a lot of them available. And read the questions, read the answers, create your own answer, make it short and sweet, memorize it, and practice it in front of the mirror, okay? And then you will be ready for the interview. The point is, when you go to the interview, I see some people that they say, well, I just will be honest in my interview, and any question that they ask, I will tell them the truth. The problem is when you are under a stress of an interview day, you start forgetting things. And instead of expressing yourself and introducing yourself in a complete way with self-confidence, and you just try to make your answers shorter and shorter and shorter. And when you get out of the interview room, you start thinking about your answers and you realize how many positive points you forgot about yourself. So make sure that you have enough practice before you go to the interview room. Okay, first question, tell me about yourself. Almost all of the interviews start with this question. You can tell them that, do they like a short version of answer or a long version? If they say the short version, you can briefly talk about, you can tell them your elevator talk, but you can add to it a little bit, like, okay, you know my name, I am a mechanical or chemical or civil engineer, I have, you know, such and such extra certificates or education, I have been working in this industry and this industry, like, for example, in construction industry and chemical industry, for example, in different companies, including but not limited to company ABC, company XYZ, and I have doing some engineering work or consultation or reliability or test engineer, like I work as a test engineer or something like that. And then you go to the name of the companies, and then you go to your soft skills, and you please don't forget to talk about your values. You know, I could save this amount of money for the company, or I reduce the scrap rate, I increase the sales, I increase the production, I made a huge impact on the increasing health and safety in the plant, or controlling or minimizing the environmental impact of our projects. So that would be a short introduction about yourself. The long introduction would be that you start from your last position or first position, and you go through your job details, with the projects that you get involved and the value of your work, company after company after company. So that would be probably a longer version, 10-15 minutes of tell me about yourself question. So the second question is, why should I hire you? Don't forget that when you go for the interview, there was a person before you, there will be a person after you, and all of them meet the minimum requirements of the job post. Okay, if the job post is asking for MBA with 5 years experience in finance industry, and no knowledge of the software of ABC or whatever, which is common in the finance industry. The person who was interviewed yesterday and the person who will be interviewed tomorrow, like you, they have all these minimums. So just saying, because I hear sometimes people say, oh, the job post that you have is the same as my resume, so I feel that I can do all of that. Okay, everybody says that, right? So you should tell them that above and beyond the job post, what you can offer to the company to either save the money or increase the sales or have a positive impact on the company. Okay, so why should I hire you means I can do the job post, plus I have some values. Okay. Sometimes you hear that they tell you you are overqualified. First of all, when you apply for a position, try to look and read and understand the job post carefully, and then tweak and adjust your resume in a way that you will not be overqualified. But, if somebody says that you are overqualified, there is only one answer that may help you to come back to the table for negotiation. When they tell you you are overqualified, the answer should be something like this. You would say, well, I understand that I'm overqualified, but when I look at your company progress and the goals and how your company works and all the expertise that you have and all these things, I think after 2 or 3 years, you need somebody with my today's qualification to overcome some of the barriers or to do the projects that you have, or to gain more edge in the market, to get more projects or some more works to done. So when that day comes, I can help the company from inside with no extra cost and contribute to the company's success more and more from inside. So technically what we are telling them is, today you don't need my qualification. But as the company grow and the business grow and the market changes in the future, I think based on that, 3 years from now, you need my qualification so you can use it without extra money, something like that. You can put it in writing and practice in front of mirror and get ready for that. The next question is, what's your weakness or a strength? So let's start with a strength. Your strength is exactly what's inside the job post. So whatever that they need in the job post would be your strength. What's your weakness? Nobody cares what's your weakness. The point is, you should write down 10 or 20 weaknesses. You can Google it, you can find it, you can read it in different books, and make a list out of all of the weaknesses that you find out. Then look at the job post, look at the weakness list, and see which one of those weaknesses is not related to the job post. Pick that one, create a story around that, and when you talk about that, present it as your weakness. But you need a story around that, and I tell you example of that story. For example, I want to work as a lift truck driver, and public speaking is not a necessity for that job. Or I should work as, territory manager, sales manager by myself in a remote area or a different location. And I would say team player is not an essential requirement for that position. So what I would say is, I found out that my weakness is my public speaking capability and skill, but I don't stop here. I continue. I would say I noticed that I have this weakness about 2 years ago, and about 18 months ago, I was introduced to a group of professionals named Toastmasters, and I joined the club, and every week or every month they give me an assignment with a project, and then I practice, I present myself, I express my ideas in the public more often. So now after 18 months, I think I have overcome that weakness almost about 80 to 90%. And my goal is by June 2022, I completely overcome that weakness and change it to my strength. So what happened? I told the audience that I have one weakness, whatever that it is, nobody cares. But I recognize that, I found the solution, I executed the solution, I can monitor and measure my progress, and I have a deadline. So I'm not going to drag my feet with that weakness for the rest of my life. I recognize that, I have a plan, I ran that plan, and then now I'm going to fix it. So that's the thing that they want to know. They want to know what's your approach toward your weakness, okay? Because everybody has the weakness. Next question, how much do you want as salary? First of all, there are books, there are sites like Glass gives you aims for a position, and sometimes based on the province or based on the city also. So look at them and have a clear idea about the mean and max of the salary of the position that you are being interviewed for. And now when somebody asks you how much money do you want, the first answer would be, I have done research on your company. Your company has been in the market for a long time. So I'm sure that any offer that comes from your company is a fair offer. But if they say, no, you should give us a number, then between that mean and max that you already know, give them a number. If they offer you a job offer, if they send you a job offer, and the number there is not what you think it should be, you have one chance to negotiate it. Do not repeat, do not send a counter offer. For example, if they say, we are going to offer you a $60,000 annual income or annual compensation, okay? And you want to have, you know, something like a little bit more. Don't tell them that I want $65,000. Write them a nice email and say, is it possible to be more generous about the annual compensation or about the salary or whatever? Be more generous. Do not offer them a number, okay? And for example, if you receive a job offer and the deadline to sign the job offer is next Monday, for example, and you send the letter today and you wait for a couple of days, there is no response, there is no reply, and you get closer to the Monday, sign the deal. Do not wait for them and pass the deadline of the offer, okay? In that letter that you want to negotiate about the salary, you can also ask about, be more generous about vacation day, be more generous and have a shorter probation time period, okay? So all of these could be a good point to negotiate and then get something out of them. But again, don't be greedy, do not counter offer, do not wait till end of the time that you have to sign the job offer. What do you know about our company? If you remember, I told you to read the mission statement and value and show it to them. Tell them that, okay, I know that your company is a safety conscious company, or you are very big on the environment protection or respect or team player stuff. And always makes an example about yourself. Like, I know that your company is very big on safety. I am very big on safety. Every time that I go to my backyard to cut my grass, I always have safety shoes and safety glasses, because if by chance something happens, I can protect my feet and my eyes. I am very environmental cautious person. Every year I work with the local environmentist or the city, and we go out and we plant a couple of trees or something like that. So we tell them what we know about their company, but somehow we connect their values to our daily value to show them that how good we are and how good fit we are for their company. Have you ever had a conflict with your boss, coworker? Yes. Again, you cannot say, oh, everybody loves me, they hug me, you know, we are very good friends and stuff. No. In a professional world, it happens all the time that you have a conflict with your coworker or boss, both of them or one of them. So how do you handle that? So the point is, you should say, yes, I had this technical you know, disagreement with my boss, or another kind of conflict or disagreement with my coworker. What I did, I called a meeting. I invited all the stakeholders and shareholders related to that topic to that meeting. In that meeting, we had a roundtable discussion. And while the discussion was happening, I noticed the reason that I had the conflict with my coworker or boss was that he or she didn't have access to the final version of the files that we had, or he or she was not updated about the status of the project or the work or the load or the shipment or the production, whatever. So after we could address that question, everything was fine. But what I did to prevent anything like that happen, I made an Excel file on a shared drive. So every Friday afternoon, all the shareholders related to that project would update that Excel file. And so Monday morning, the boss or other coworkers, they have access to all the progress of the project. And that never happened. So what we are saying that, yes, we had a conflict, but we went to the meeting, we solved the problem. I initiated a very great way to prevent anything like that happen in the company. So I'm a good guy, they are bad guys, something like that. Tell me 3 things about yourself. What will your boss say? I see that sometimes people say, oh, I'm a detail-oriented team player, minimum supervision needed person. and they use the same skills or the same adjectives for the boss as well. So it's not possible that I see myself from inside and my boss see me from outside and both of us thinks the same, okay? So always have 6 or 7 good things about yourself, like I'm punctual, I am minimum supervision needed, I'm detail-oriented, I'm team player, I am, you know, all the good things, hard worker person. So, and then pick 3 for yourself and pick 3 for your boss. Okay, good. Next question, how do you handle a fight in the kitchen? This question pops up more often these days in different formats, like your cousin is stealing from the warehouse of the company that you work in. What do you do? So the point is, everything that we do in the company is based on the company policy. So your answer would be, oh, if I notice there is a fight in the kitchen or my cousin is stealing from the warehouse, I act based on the company policy. If company policy says I should call security, I call security. If it says call the HR manager, I will call HR manager. If it says talk to your boss, I will talk to my boss. So everything that we do inside the company is based on the company policy. Okay, good. Are you a team player? Everybody says yes. But what's the meaning of team player? Team player means before we start a teamwork, a project, something that you want to do, before starting that, we should sit and think about who is going to do which part of this project. So everybody almost carry the same load and everybody can do the same hours of work. So don't try to be a hero, you know, do not try to get the hardest, the longest, the most difficult part of the project and do it by yourself alone, because at the end of the project, at the end of the work, everybody gets credit the same. And when you work more and harder compared to the others, you feel that you deserve more recognition, which doesn't happen. Okay, so before you kill yourself, sit back, look at the whole game, look at the whole project, and if you feel somebody is not working enough, you can ask that person to join you for more help or to carry a part of your work. Okay, so do not be a hero, be a team player. Good. What do you want to be in the next 5 years? 2 sections. You can say, in my personal development, I would like to achieve, you know, I would like to get this certificate. I want to learn this. I want to get education on this, on my personal development. On professional development, I would like to be in a position to take more serious decisions for the company and help and contribute to the company's success more and more. Again, I would like to be in a position to take more serious decisions for the company and contribute to the company's success more. I didn't say I want to be a manager. I didn't say I want to be engineering manager or production supervisor. I just said, if you give me the time and give me the room to grow, I can make more serious decisions for the company. Okay, so these are the most common questions that you will be asked in interview. I'm going to go very fast through the 10 commandments, and these are the good things for the workplace. Number 1, let them finish first. When you ask somebody a question, wait for them to finish the answer. Do not interrupt them. If everything that they said was, you know, you knew that, you know, from the past, you knew whatever that they said, let them finish. And at the end, you can say, thank you very much for your explanation. It was a great refresher, but my question was, and you repeat your question. Do not interrupt people. Ask if you don't know, especially about the safety. If you start to work in first week or first couple of weeks, you have a lot of questions. Ask them, especially if you are not sure something is safe or not. So do not think that, oh, if I ask this question, they think I'm stupid. No, if you wait for 3 months and after 3 months, you ask the question that you should ask it on the first week, then you look stupid. Okay, so ask the question if you don't know something, especially if it's involved with safety. Don't touch if not trained. If you see an equipment in the lab, in the production line, in the yard, whatever, if you are not trained, don't touch. And I'm going to give you a great example to you. From years ago, green to us meant go, and red means stop. You know, everybody drives that. Everybody drive, and you know that, right? But look at this photo. This is one of the biggest refineries in Canada. Red is go, green is a stop. So if I don't know that, and I only look at these lights, and based on my previous knowledge, then I would kill myself, right? So be careful. If you are not trained for something, don't touch it. There is a law in at least Ontario that says if you are sure that a task or a work is not safe, you can refuse that. And nobody can penalize you for that. There is no penalty for that. For example, you are in the office, your boss says, go to the workshop, grab something and come back. When you want to walk from the office to the workshop, on the door, you see there is a sign that says you should have a hard hat, but you don't have a hard hat. So don't enter the shop. Go back to your boss and say, you know what? I don't have a hard hat. I cannot walk into the workshop. Can I borrow your hard hat? Or do you have extra one? Or can I bring my hard hat from home tomorrow and do this task tomorrow? Okay. If it's not safe, refuse to do that. Right or privilege? We should understand the difference between right or privilege, because, for example, about the payment, about the salary, our right is $15 per hour, no matter what education level you have, okay? If a company wants to pay you $60, $70, $80 per hour, it's because they give you this, so you will pick that company compare or against their competitor. And that's a privilege that they give to you. Your right is $15 per hour. The privilege that they give you $100 per hour, right? So at this moment, the average salary of mechanical engineers working in automotive industry is 20% lower than average salary of mechanical engineers working in aerospace industry. But none of those engineers from auto industry take their companies to the court because their right was violated. The point is, the minimum payment, $15 per hour, is our right. Anything above and beyond that is privilege. Don't say if you don't have proof. Do not get involved into office rumors. Okay, so if you can't prove anything in the court of law, do not talk about that. That's pretty much simple. Okay, so do not get involved into the office rumors. Correlation or causation, understand the difference. Is it something happening because they are related to each other, or something happens by accident at the same time? Okay, so understand the difference between correlation and causation. Be a part of solution. Everywhere that you go, every company, you know, even the companies that are big, very fancy, you know, you love them, international, you know, 20,000 employees, everywhere that you go, you will have some problems, okay? And then you should make a decision that you want to be a part of solution to that problem, or you want to be a part of problem. That's up to you. My recommendation is always try to be a part of solution, offer solution to your coworkers, to your boss. Tell them if you can help to ease the situation or make it easier for them or whatever. So always try to cooperate with them and be a part of solution, because you can find problem everywhere. Learn, execute, and learn. What it means? It means the job market is changing rapidly, day after day, year after year. In 2019, nobody could believe that 90% of Canadian workforce will sit in the house, either working from house or they have lost their job, okay? And we don't know 20 years from now how and in what environment we should work. So try to learn the latest technology in your area. Try to understand and learn the latest software, methods, whatever. Use them, execute them in work, and learn more and more, and get ready for the future, okay? The last item that I have has 3 parts: confidentiality agreement, no compete, no solicit. Always and always you can consult with a lawyer, with an employment lawyer, about the contract that you have. So what I'm going to tell you is not replacing the lawyer's advice, but I just give you a little bit information about this thing. Confidentiality agreement means everything that you see, hear, learn, understand, and work from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you are paid by company ABC is the confidential information of company ABC and should stay there. No email forwarding, no dumping information on USB or external hard drive, no taking pictures from lab equipment, from production equipment, from formulas. Everything that you see, you touch, you learn, you hear is confidential. Respect the confidentiality agreement because it is very, very important in the court of law. Item 2, no compete agreements. When you leave a company and you go to the second company, the competitor, most of the time the first company doesn't like it. So they want to stop you. They say, you cannot compete with us. But not all the time, this no compete agreement clause in the contract will be and can be entertained in a court of law in Canada for several different reasons. One of them is the content of earning for a living, okay? You can consult with the lawyer and the lawyer will explain it to you. I just give you a little bit information. So go to the lawyer and ask them about this no compete and earning for a living subject in the court of law. The last item is no solicit, which means after you left the company ABC for a period of time, year or 2 years, you cannot contact their customers, suppliers, vendors, subcontractors, and so on and so forth. Be careful because sometimes you say, well, I passed the customer name to my colleague and my colleague contact them. But if it's proven in the court of law that you did it, you will be convicted very hard in the court of law. So stay away from sharing the information from the customers, vendors, anything that you know from your past work, and focus on the new job that you have in the new company. The last item is the quiz. And there is a sentence that probably you can Google and understand. It says there is no traffic in the extra mile. We all know what it means. But what I want you to tell me, and you can type your answer in the comments, what's the relationship between this sentence and all the topics that we covered in the last 6 videos? Thank you very much for watching. I hope that I could tell you something that you didn't know. I hope you learned something. I hope you not only learn, but also execute what you learn in the real life. You can always leave comments here, ask questions, and I will be more than happy to help you with some answers. Thank you very much. Good luck with your job hunt and have a great day.